recording.
We're just opening it, right?
All right,
Bill's gonna leave at 8, but we still have 5, so
Yep.
we'll be good.
all right, so we'll call order at 7:31. Just stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Good morning, thank you. First, recommended actions, welcome Tim Kane. He was here last week, but he's officially a member now.
He's at Calvary.
Yeah, he's officially a member. Okay, first recommended actions, approval of minutes from August 6th. Jenny did send the meeting minutes out.
So
Moved by Ms. Corey,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Holmes. Any questions on the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Okay, there's no old business. On to project administration, bid document release authorizations, none. Bid reviews and awards, bid number 26002, land appraisal peer review services for Tollgate. Is this you?
Mr. Bates.
This is for that land swap. We need to get a peer review of the appraisal we already got a couple months ago. We had 3 bids this time, and the rebid Witham, I think it's called, or Wytham, was the low bid at $3,900, which we think is appropriate, given that we paid $9,500 for the actual appraisal. We think that the peer review would be about that much or less. Witham is a national company. They have a Providence office. We're recommending the board to Witham.
Any questions for left field at all? Is that the one with the bids were all over the lot?
Yeah, we got a bid for like 40 or 50 grand.
Yeah, something like that.
just in case.
Okay, all right,
So like
so,
3,900.
all right, if there's no questions, I'm looking for a motion to accept bid award 26002. So moved by Mr. DeCourt and Mr. Holmes, seconded by Mr. Enos. All in favor? Opposed, motion carries. Next, bid 26-001, Sherman Detention Pond Fencing. Steve.
All right, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bids on this. Believe it or not, 11 showed up when we did the pre-bid. The bids ran from low was 8,895, high was 29,880. AEP services met the spec. They were low bid. Recommend their approval.
Okay. Moved by Mr. DeCourt, second by Mr. Enos. Any questions for Steve on that? Okay, hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. All right, recommended awards, none. Now, change order reports. Item 4A, EW Berman, $36,304 for Oakland Beach.
All right, this is for the phase monitors. As you know, we've had discussion on the many issues we've had at the Oakland Beach project with the HVAC. We found that there had been power surges, power outages, and that 2 of the 4 issues were caused by that, where we actually lost the phase. So one piece of equipment kept running, which caused condensation when the other wasn't running. So we went back to the manufacturer after talking with the engineers in Delta. We've been going around with this for quite a while. And the manufacturer, Dakin, recommended these phase monitors be attached to each piece of equipment. So what happens is if we do lose a phase or multiple phases through a power outage or a surge, it is detected and shuts down the equipment so we don't have the problem again. It protects the equipment and it protects our property. The original quote was for $53,000. We had a long discussion. The superintendent and I were involved in that. Superintendent recommended we go back to the engineers. We did. We also had them going to have them do it first shift as opposed to second shift, which saves some money. So I recommend going ahead with the $36,304. On every piece of equipment, it's 13 phase monitors. The monitors themselves are not that expensive. It's the work the electrician has to do to tie into disconnects and the equipment itself. Seek your approval.
All right. Move to approve. Moved by Mr. Enos, seconded
Second,
by Mr. McCaffrey. Any questions for Steve on that?
I just want to thank
Yeah.
Steve for studying the matter and going back to the design team on this product and getting the best value we can for the district. It's a frustrating thing when you have a new system put in and then you have an issue right off the bat, and appreciate Steve spending the time on it. I know you had about 1,000 other things you could have been doing, but
But I was very worried that it was gonna happen again, so I was a little panicky in the beginning, and I was pushing to get this done in emergency, but once the weather changed, it opened up the opportunity to hit them hard, so we did. Appreciate the push from the superintendent.
Same equipment?
It's a third-party phase monitor. It's got nothing to do, it's not a Dakin piece of equipment.
Okay.
It's a third-party piece of monitoring equipment.
But that equipment hasn't changed from the original bid.
No.
Okay.
No.
Any other questions for Steve? But when I'm, and again, this isn't my business, but, you know, I don't know, we put a system in Warwick Neck, we put a system in Holland, Holland's brand new, we put a system in Greenwood.
We have the same equipment at Women, no issues at
Yeah,
all.
we never, so, you know, why do you lose one phase, right? So,
Because if you look at the Dakin equipment, all right, so you've got Dakin equipment at Women, Dakin equipment at Oakland Beach. However, we have a generator at Windman. So we never, we have, always have consistent power.
Okay.
There's the difference.
okay. Yeah, and then as far as the surges, to me, that may sound like a Rhode Island Energy issue. You think, right? And, you know, I'm not sure how much on fire that would be for them, so, okay. All right, any other questions for Steve?
the challenge is they're always going to say that they're providing consistent power. And
Yeah.
They
It's up
can't,
to us to
they
spend
can't
it.
control the weather.
Yeah, it's up to us to spend that money to analyze it.
And both issues were caused during one of the storms, either through wind or lightning.
All right, so if there are no other questions, look for a motion to approve E.W. Berman for 36304. Moved by Mr. Holmes, second by Mr. DeCourt. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye, opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next item, tie and bond, $173,000 not to exceed. Pilgrim High School, change order 5. Mr. Bates.
Time Bond is our environmental engineer helping us navigate the soil contamination issue at Pilgrim. This proposal captures two major tasks. It's a not to exceed. Their scope continues to come in somewhat piecemeal as we progress through this RIDEM process. The scope reveals itself as we work our way through it. So task number 1 is to develop a short-term remedial action plan that would be submitted to RIDEM for their approval. As we know, the short-term remedial action plan has already been discussed. It involves stripping the top 2 feet of soil off the eastern portion of the site and then bringing in clean import to replace that. The second task is the larger one of the two. It's for about 115,000 of that 173, and that is for the lab fees, right? The testing fees. We have to do more characterization at site because we have to prove to the receiving facilities that are going to be taking this export that it is receivable by their standards. So in the phase 2, we did do a lot of testing. But we tested for the more common metals that we find out on site, but we didn't test for some of the other less common compounds that a receiving facility might ask for. So hence we have to go out and do more characterization. Time Bond's going to help us with that. Our site work subcontractor Manafort is going to also assist with that. And the 115 is, again, a not to exceed. So we're looking at different ways to reduce that number. One of them being we probably don't need expedited turnarounds in the lab results for all these, so that could reduce the cost. And we might not need as many tests as we're anticipating, right? So we're assuming a worst case, the most stringent facility, the most amount of tests. So we're going to trim that 115 number down. We'll know more in the next week or so.
As an explanation of the testing, the receiving facilities want test 500 for every 500 cubic yards. So Demio and Manafort have laid out 85 by 85 foot grid. And within that grid, now we're talking worst case 3 samples that they combine. So we have combined samples. So that's why there's so many samples, and that's why that's so high.
Any questions for left field? I do, I have one. So wouldn't Ty and Bond know that if you, once you have to do significant soil removal like this, that receiving facilities may want that testing?
Yeah, I asked the same question. The response was that we would never do that level of testing in the initial phase. It's so uncommon that we find those on site. So they're approaching it as if we wouldn't have to do the export, I suppose. But I share that I don't know if it's a concern or question, but that was their response. I mean, it's just they would never do the full gamut of tests at that phase 2 stage.
And you said that.
If I could jump in for
Oh,
a
yeah, go ahead.
second. So like, I think what Ty and Bond did, right, when they did the phase 2 testing, they had to do enough random testing to establish that there was an issue.
Okay.
So they wouldn't go in and do the super grid pattern because that would just be wasted money. So once they did the phase 2 testing, this is my interpretation of it. Once they did the phase 2 testing kind of on a random pattern, they say, okay, we have an issue, we have a problem. And at that point in time, I think they know that the testing is going to be more detailed in order to get rid of the problem, but they wouldn't automatically test the extensive
Okay.
portion on the phase 2 test. They would, it's kind of a step program, like, because had phase 2 gone well, that would have been the end of it. We wouldn't have needed any more testing. Would have come back and said, oh, we don't have any contaminated soils, we're done.
So we would not be here.
Right,
Okay. And then different receiving sites might have different requirements,
yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I guess, for the use of the fill, right? Depending on which
Yes.
is, okay.
we've identified 3, right? There's Grotto, right? There's a Groton, Central Landfill, Tiverton, and Middleborough. Actually, those are the 3. Middleborough being the most stringent. But we want optionality, right?
Where's Middleborough? Where is this operation? Where is it located?
Middleborough, I'm assuming that's Massachusetts, right? Yeah, so
It's like
Middleborough,
the-
Mass.
It's in there, Lakeville, like
Yeah, yeah,
44, 6.
That's it's
it's a hall,
right
right?
at home, yeah.
Yeah. We don't want to have to use them, but we're just assuming the worst case, right? But we want optionality because in the event that one of these facilities closes, we want to be able to go to the next one, right? We want to keep the trucking moving. We're talking, what, four loads a day? And it's going to be,
Yeah, we're talking probably anywhere from 5 to 8 trucks per day, each doing 3 to 4
Right.
or 5 cycles per day, depending upon where the receiving facility is located. Rhode Island Resource Recovery in Johnson is the closest facility, but they also will close on a moment's notice. They'll say, well, we reached our cap, we're not accepting any more dirt. So at that point in time, you're kind of locked out. So you
Oh, wow.
want to,
Okay.
you want to have, to John's point, optionality so that you can go to different places and
And is this fill typically used to cap?
typically, yes.
Okay. Driving around and see Phil wanted, we just go take the dump truck over there. Don't tell Al. Okay, any other questions for left field? All right, hearing none, looking for a motion to approve.
Is there any way to work with Resource Recovery and have a special agreement with them on?
I don't think that's how it works, yeah.
I didn't know. I mean, it's
Yeah, it's
substantial.
worth asking the question, but no, I don't.
Okay. All right, so looking for a motion to approve Ty and Bond as presented.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Enos, second. I'll second. Any further discussion? Being hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, consent payment authorizations, AAA Mobile, items 5A, B, and C totaling $579. Looking for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Calori, second.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Enos and Mr. DeCourt. Any discussion? These are just the storage units on site. Okay, hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next, ADS construction items D through M. Steve, do you want to take these as a group or
We can
individual?
take them as a group.
All right, so totaling $937,393.49, and it's for exterior door projects.
Yeah, we are actually doing our final walkthrough after this meeting on all. did a great job.
Yes.
They did a really good job.
Any issues, minor issues?
The only issues we had was, Signet was buried, so a lot of their stuff, we had to do second shift Saturday. So that bill's gonna be a little more than usual, but, that's not tied to this, that's,
Okay.
time and materials. But, the change orders all fall under the allowances we have, so that'll be coming forward, probably gonna get a credit. So I can't say enough about how well they worked. Anthony DePasquale was on site every day, driving everything. We're very, very pleased. Kevin, you agree?
I agree, yeah.
I also agree with that. It's communicating all the time.
Okay. All right, so looking for motion to approve ADS items D through M for $937,393. So moved by Mr. Holmes and Mr. Enos, seconded by Mr. DeCourt. Any other questions? Okay, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Next, item N, AEP Services, bid number 26001, $8,895, looking for a motion to approve. This is the fence at Sherman.
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Calori, seconded by Mr. DeCourt. Any questions on this? I think we talked about it previously. Okay, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Next, item O, Allboard Construction, bid 24002, application number 10 for $122,388.
We're still holding a little bit of money on this right now.
Yeah.
There's a couple minor little issues we need to deal with. Couple of the doors just aren't quite right, so we're still holding some money. We won't be using, the Corbin and Russwin hardware ever again. Had a lot of issues with it. So lesson learned.
Any questions for Steve on that? Okay, hearing none, looking for a motion to approve Allboard application 10. Moved by Mr. Holmes, seconded by Mr. DeCourt. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next, item P, BRNA Consulting Engineers, High School Projects, Commissioning Services, $1,850, looking for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Enos, seconded by Mr. DeCourt. Any questions on this?
What is this?
This is our commissioning agent for
What do they do? Like, what are they doing? That's fun.
design reviews, the MEP, the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, the fire protection. That's what they're doing right now. They're in the design phase, is design reviews. They're gonna do equipment verification and testing as we get into construction. That's down the line. But they're working with us. They're also doing some middle review as part of the design process. So for certain select submittals that relate to MEP.
Okay, thank you.
Just just to kind of highlight where they come into the process, they are a RIDE required consultant. In order for us to receive reimbursement, we must engage a third-party commission.
Of course. Okay, all right, so any other questions?
Doesn't have to be them, but it has.
That we have
You
to
gotta
have
get one.
Whether it's RIDE or MSBA, I mean, they're on every project like this. So it's
They're
not
really
unique to us.
protecting our interests.
No, I get it. All right, any other questions? Okay, it's been moved and seconded, so all in favor? Aye, opposed, motion carries. Okay, next, items Q and R, Dimeo Construction, totaling $3,044,640.28. Application 13 for both Pilgrim and Tollgate. We can take these both together, right? I don't have a problem with that. Anybody have a problem? No?
Move to approve.
Move to approve second? Second by Mr. DeCourt. Questions? Or Mr. Bates, this is just an update?
Work completed to date. They've been reviewed by both left field and both architectural teams. We recommend payment.
Any questions for Mr. Bates at all? Okay, hearing none. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, S&T ECM, Hazardous Materials Consulting, totaling $5,825. For a motion to approve.
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Glory, second by Mr. DeCourt. Any questions for left field? This is standard stuff.
Hazmat inspections
Yeah.
for both schools. They're just about 100% billing for their contract for this work.
Okay.
Yeah, standard operation.
Any questions, Mr. Bates? Okay, hearing none. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, item U. FENA? FINA, Inc. Construction, the high school project construction testing agent for $5,110. Looking for motion to approve.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Enos, seconded by Mr. DeCourt. Any questions for left field?
Just like, what are they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the test?
Third-party testing, so, and I'd say they're doing well by us so far. They've been doing 7 proctor tests in the field over the last couple of months.
What
We're
kind of test?
scheduled to do rebar and concrete, so
No.
my interpreter here will.
Yeah. So, what is,
The architect speaking,
Yeah.
the layman
they
speaking.
test all the materials and your soils to make sure that they are within the lines of the specification. So the architect will say, things need to be like this. The contractor will install them, and then a materials testing agent will go out and say, okay, they are as installed in terms of, does your concrete have the right additives in it? Is it strong enough? How many PSI can it support? Is your soil compacted enough? Are there air gaps? Those types of things that are required by a third-party testing agent.
So are they on site the whole time?
No.
They're, not full-time, basically our on-site representation every day, checks in with Dimeo. Dimeo, we look at the amount of work that's going on the next day and we say, do we need to test? Do we not?
Again, protecting our interests.
Yeah, we rely on those reports, third-party inspections, as part of special inspections.
Yeah.
So this is not moving ongoing throughout the process.
Okay.
So Mr. Cody would qualify as a
Okay.
third-party testing agent.
Okay.
They're basically coordinated 24 to 48 hours ahead of a particular scope of work that needs to be reviewed.
And the idea also is in your protection as well. Let's say in 4 years, we come back and some of the concrete is now falling or something like that. Our first course of action is going to say, let's look at the testing. Did everything come within our tests? And if so, if not, it can determine which way that you need to go.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, so it's been moved and seconded. So looking for I'm going to call a vote. All in favor of FENA? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next, item V, left field, high school projects, $111,129. OPM services, this is a standard monthly.
Right. Their money.
That's good.
All right. Looking for a motion to approve left field. Armin's not here, he would have approved it already. Looking for a motion to approve. Moved by Mr. DeCourt. Second? I'll second. Any questions for left field or any comments?
Can I just note there's an extra 1,129 in there? That's for the beacon ad. No, yeah, that's in the beacon.
Yeah, I saw
It's
this.
at cost. It's not, there's no markup, so
Yeah, it comes down.
just a reimbursable.
All right, so all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, Rexel, $44.13. Looking for motion to approve.
So moved.
So moved by Ms. Calori and Mr. Holmes, seconded by Mr. DeCourt. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Bad
Motion
switch.
carries.
Who are they?
Their electrical supply was a bad switch. Interconnection switch on one of the door magnets.
All right. Next, item X is Rhode Island Analytical for $1,610. For the Howland renovation, this is the final payment.
This is for monitoring services during the abatement removal at.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, so looking for a motion to approve Rhode Island Analytical. Moved by Mr. DeCourt, seconded. I'll second. Any further questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, item Y, Department of Environmental Management for $1,000 for Pilgrim High School. Looking for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Enos, seconded by Mr. DeCourt. Thank you.
We have to pay them to delay us.
That's already done. We have to
I was
pay
gonna say,
them.
shouldn't this be the other way around?
We have to pay them so that we can pay more money?
Correct.
Okay.
$1,000 and you spend $5 million.
Yeah.
All right, so any other questions for anyone on that one? Okay, it's been moved and seconded, hearing none. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item Z, SOM Architecture, Pilgrim High School design for July services, $125,442. Looking for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Holmes, seconded by Mr. DeCourt. Questions?
Is this a
Monthly.
revamp of a design?
Nope, monthly progress payment.
Just the
Okay.
monthly.
progress, yeah.
Yeah. No problems with them? They've been.
No, they've been doing well. They're moving us along very well.
All right. Any other questions for left field? Okay, hearing none. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, items AA through EE for $6,868 for Secosio and Associates on the elementary school building envelope design.
This is for construction administration, for these projects, like Al going out today to review everything. After this, we should be coming up with a final payment, I would think.
Okay. All right, so we're looking for motion to approve items AA through EE.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Enos, seconded by Mr. Decort. Any further questions for Steve or Secosio on that? All right, hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, item FF, Secosio and Associates High School Project, August 25 services, $59,070. Looking for motion to approve.
Monthly billing.
Yeah, monthly
So
bill. Moved by Ms. Calori, seconded. I'll second. Questions? Just lower amount?
Yeah, well, they're doing less work, so
Okay.
they,
Everything with the design is what Demio needs it out at this point, so they can move fast with their piece.
Yeah, they've been keeping up.
Okay.
And, you know, we've just issued as of Friday our third addenda, which was on time. And, you know, they continue to earn their money. So
Since we're talking about Toll Week, I put in a request, I have to leave at 8 to do a Pilgrim. I know we talked about photos, but I also know we want to be sensitive to appropriate photos getting out there. Is there any way to like send us some photos so we can push it out to a proud of the project? It's gonna be the Renaissance of Walt, these two high schools. We just want to promote it on social media as best we can. If you
So you have a communications, can we, I would say, liaise with whoever's running your communications on this? So
Sure.
that we can directly talk to them, they can get us directly
Sure.
what they need, that'll,
Sure. But it's something to be proud of. It's, and I personally believe it's gonna be a Renaissance of Walt. It's gonna make a huge difference.
I agree. I'll expound on that later, and because now Bill's gotta go. I'm in total agreement with Bill.
who, is it Cameron or who we dealing with?
Well, if we can get it to,
because we take,
if we get it to Teresa, she'll direct it to the right person that it's supposed to be, who's gonna do design work for us on that.
because we have a daily project report that comes out every day that has a series of pictures of project progress.
Yep.
That's pretty easy to get you on a distribution list for that, so that you could pull everything you needed in real time. We could just put you on a distribution list for that.
That would make sense.
But it may not be the type of photos that they're looking for, right? Because we're looking for different things as part of the project than maybe a social media campaign might be looking for. So if we could just maybe have a hour conversation
Yeah.
with what they're looking
Yeah.
for, we could probably figure it
At
out.
this stage of the game, it's all site work, so there's nothing exciting or sexy about site work. But once frames,
impressive how much is in the.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, yeah. I would love to see a little video of
A
one of
little
those.
drone shot or something?
Yeah, that's what I was
Just a
thinking.
shot, a little
Yep.
2-second,
Yeah.
3-second video of the blast, just so people can say, this is real.
And just how they
Oh,
just
it's
wiped
real.
out a couple acres of trees in a day. It's just impressive.
Yeah, so whatever, whatever you have, I would just send it to us, and then we can go through it and decide what we want.
You could also, arrange if you guys wanted to, we could arrange a walk with Demio, through portions of the site that we can control for protection, if there's specific people that you wanted to invite on a walk of the site, because as you said, it's a lot of work has been done in Toby in a short period of time. So if you'd like that, we can arrange for that as well. I'm sure Demio.
And it's a campus that you don't see from like a West Shore Road.
Right, you can't see it.
You can't really see it, but when you're up there, it's impressive what's happened.
Yeah, and a walkthrough would be cool, whatever you could do, just include me on that, because if I can fit it in my schedule, I'd love to go.
Also, Superintendent, you can also pull our camera footage too, also to document any blast or anything.
Sure,
Yeah, so we
I
should
just wanna
just-
make sure it's- I just want to make sure it's got the blessing of Demio.
Yeah, yep, I agree.
Camera on the roof now.
This past weekend, so it's
Yes.
just getting service to it right now.
So we also have a time-lapse camera that's starting. So we'll be able to, obviously, you'll be able to see a progress video. It's short, but it'll show you how fast things move.
Pilgrim, they're gonna know when that's stopped.
Yeah, but we could see for both, but yeah, the time lapse, I've seen those in other sites, I think it's Providence, it's something similar, other schools do the same thing. So, okay,
Thank you.
all right. All right, so that's been moved and seconded, so Secosio. So I'm just gonna call a vote for item FF, $59,070. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Okay, last on the consent calendar, Stephen Turner, Inc., commissioning services, item GG through LL for $7,866.20. Looking for motion to approve.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Enos, seconded by Mr. Decort. Mr. Gothberg?
This is for the commissioning services that we talked about earlier, but this is for our Bond 2 HVAC projects.
Yeah, so this isn't the high, Stephen Turner's not doing the high school
No,
commission.
they're doing this with the Bond 2.
Okay. Any questions for Steve? Okay, hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, item MM, employee overtime, $1,219.89.
When we had to disconnect power from Drum Rock, we had to shut down power to the entire complex. To do that, we had to bring in our electricians to disconnect some three-phase equipment, shut that down, and have people in the building in case, as a fire watch, because the alarm was off. We had to do it 3 times. That's why the bill is so high. The reason we had to do it 3 times was that Rhode Island Energy canceled twice, so. So we had them there
Can't
3
charge them
times,
back.
but really only needed them once.
You had to pay him for 3
You have
times.
to wait.
Well,
for
they
discussion
were
before
there.
I comment.
Yeah.
You bring them in, you gotta pay them.
You
Yeah,
have to wait for-
question? No, go ahead.
So I'm gonna push back on that. They canceled 3 times,
Twice.
well, twice, came out a 3rd time. And because they canceled, we have to pay extra money.
We have to
That's-
pay our guys because we brought them in. They don't pay.
No, I know, but we brought them in because they said they were coming and then they didn't
This is a
come.
utility.
Yeah.
I can push back all I want, but it's not.
Their pushback's gonna be worse.
I know, but listen, I'm gonna voice it because I think it's
Well, I
wrong.
mean,
No, I agree
voiced
with
it. We voiced it to them. We weren't very happy about this because not only did we had to bring people in, Demio was there, Kevin and I were
Right.
there.
Right,
They had emergencies, so they had an underground emergency in Providence that took precedence, so we got the call 15 minutes, well, actually, the first time was 2 hours late.
well, that's my
Yeah.
point.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
there was no forewarning. They just didn't either show or told you late. And that's not good business.
Yeah, no, then when they force
It's
Everybody would
utility,
like the
like,
money on
we
fire,
can,
right?
we can-
It's a burn.
we can complain all we
Well, I'm
want.
fired up lately. Let me call them.
Yeah, all right, so we're gonna pay our people. Who knows?
I know.
Maybe you get someone
You're
at
not
Rhode
gonna
Island Energy who's magnanimous and says, yeah, all right, we'll keep it.
They're not gonna pay.
All right, so I'm looking for a motion to approve item MM. Moved by Mr. Enos, I'll second it by Mr. Decort. Any further questions? Comments are duly noted and agreed to. All right, all in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Nay,
1 nay. Motion carried. Next item, NN, Wally Computer Associates for $1,349.25. Wyman Exterior Door Project, looking for motion to approve. Moved by Mr. Holmes, seconded by Mr. Decort. Any questions? This is just, what's this for, Steve?
This is for a door controller. The one at Wyman was full. So we had to purchase another door controller so we could make the final 2 door connections for our door access system.
Okay. Right. Any questions? Okay, hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, on to new business, discussion, capital and construction project status. Mr. Gothberg.
Okay, the door projects went very well, as I said earlier. Holloman opened with fanfare, and I think everybody was pleased with Holloman. We have our final inspections. I think that went very, very well. We are planning for next summer. We will bring, Ms. French put together a package that shows how much money we have left on Bond 2. So what we're going to do is come next month with a list of suggestions, of potential projects that the building committee will have to make decisions on and then move forward to the school committee. Whether it be more door projects, whether it be HVAC, couple HVAC systems, boiler replacements, we'll come up with few packages so you guys can make intelligent choices. We have approximately 8.3 million left after Lippert, Welk, and Vets door projects, which we were gonna recommend highly. Those are the last three, that we're gonna harden the entries. Vets also has about $750,000 worth of, electrical work that was earmarked to be done, that we feel should be done because the existing panels are in 1955 rough shape. So we're gonna push on that. So we'll bring all that forward. So if you take out and then the other issue is we have, was it 1.3 million in Governor's Commission on Disabilities demands that we need to meet. So we'll let you know about those. And these are all rough estimates. So that's what and the dreaded Scott septic system, which we figure is going to be about $500,000. It's actually a sewer. Hopefully it's going to be a sewer connection and not a new septic. So that's what we have in the near future. And then we need to plan for the next couple of years.
We've got two great projects that we'd love to get $8.3 million.
Yeah. Good you do.
Well,
That's
also
not
an
what it
option
was
too,
promised.
But that's not what we promised. Okay,
So
anything else on your end?
I think that covers it, Kevin.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, all right, next is the discussion, the high school project update, left field.
To kick us off, we'll talk about Tollgate. So we're in the middle of the bidding process for the balance of the trades. And we have bids due next Friday, right, the 12th. So after a series of bid reviews, after that with the bidders, we'll expect a draft GMP in October. We'll expect to have that final draft before you for approval at the beginning of November. As I think we already talked about, so progress is ongoing on site, right? The drum rock building is down. Just have to excavate the remainder of the foundations, right? And the drum rock will be in history. Site clearing continues, blasting continues, and they are going to start work on the foundations, right? And on the southern portion of the building, is it next week?
17th, we're planning for the
17th.
first concrete
Right.
placement.
So work continues, and we look forward to that, GMP. And then for Pilgrim, I think everyone probably knows that the school committee meeting, the last one, they approved the GMP with the entirety of the alternates, right? So it's $153.4 million in total. So we'll proceed accordingly. I think we see it as we'll approach it in sort of two phases, right? The phase one being the construction of the actual building, right? That's the base project, and then phase two, which comprises the alternates, would be after that, right? That's pending additional funding if and when it comes. So, and then in terms of work, I mean, we already talked about what we're trying to do in the short term at Pilgrim, right? We want to get out there and get that sampling process going with Manafort, Time Bond. I mean, that's priority number one. We want to get out there as soon as next week and get that going, and then we're gonna start trucking soil in and out. We don't have rough order of magnitude pricing for the export import just yet, but we're actively trying to look at ways to reduce that cost, and particularly with the import, right? We do have some excess material at Tollgate that we're considering maybe using as part of that import, right? Which would reduce the amount of import that we would have to buy. So, these discussions are ongoing. We've got GZA, our geotech engineer, engaged in this too. So it's very much a collaborative team effort, trying to look for ways to get that cost down and keep it moving. So
So when do you anticipate starting to?
mid to late
Dig up
September, if we get out there and start testing next week, assume we'll be testing from Monday through Thursday. We'll have our soil samples into the lab, assume another week to just do the analysis, get the analysis back. I mean, we won't really know what we're looking at probably until, I don't know, say the 22nd of this month in terms of characterization of the soil, where we think we can take it. And then we'll go from there. But, actual trucking of soil, I mean, it's going to be late this month at best, right? Just given all the hurdles we have to get over.
Okay, I mean, it is what it is, right?
We were trying to go as
You
fast.
still gotta do
as
the
we
testing,
can.
so.
Yeah.
So
We've
that,
got, Ryden has been sort of a good partner, if believe it or not, they've been quick in their turnaround time when we submit a document. Sometimes the response comes within 24 to 48 hours. Time Bond similarly has been working with us pretty well. So we're moving through this process as quickly as we possibly can. Right now, we're waiting on like I said before, the site contractor to put their health and safety plan together. That'll enable them to be the assister of provide assistance to Ty and Bond as they sample, right? So.
Okay. Any questions for left field on anything so far?
I know.
Yeah, Mr. Holmes.
Has there been, like a video update as progress goes along? Or what kind of, that the public or at least us could see, like Drum Rock, did they film that while it was happening, or did they take pictures of it? So somebody, when you want to put the history of this project together, you gotta start somewhere. It'd be nice to see the order that it went in.
We have photos of every single day on site of every single activity for the most part that's going on. There's only a few major activities that are going on. So we have a complete photographic record available on the cloud. I'm sure it's in Procore as well.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, Procore. So we have documented whether or not we're talking about getting a drone, we're talking about this time-lapse camera. There was no filmed video. If you wanted to, you could take those hundreds of pictures and cut them up and make them into a.
Yeah, so
Is
you're
there
gonna,
thought of doing that?
yeah, so that's what Mr. McCaffrey was mentioning before. So you guys have to dump all your stuff to us. We've been taking pictures too. So we gotta dump all that stuff together with a timestamp so then we can build it
Yeah.
from there. Right? And so whether that goes, where we're gonna put that, once the project, you get a finished product from day one, versus up to where we are now, where we're gonna put that for the public to see would be on our website, because there's a.
And Demio has once a week does a drone flight, correct?
It's not quite once a week, but on a regular basis.
On a regular basis, so they have a global overview.
Yeah, it
that you
would be
can
nice
see.
to see the progress up to
I
now,
agree, completely agree.
even for us.
Completely agree. We're at that point now, that's what we need to see that.
Not to be greedy.
No.
I think it's a good idea,
Yeah, like I say.
pictures are good, but with the technology we have in this day and age, having a drone video or some kind of, looking down on it while it blasts, when Drum Rock's being torn down, progress report.
Yeah, so,
I think hopefully for our next meeting, we'll have one for you.
Oh, great,
good.
thank you.
Any other questions for left field on that? Okay, next item, item 3 on the new business is discussion action, approval of Demio pre-GMP additional cost releases recommendation per left field.
Okay, I'll kick this one off and maybe you can add some color commentary, James. But so we had early release packages approved for the tollgate project, concrete, steel, site work, right? Since then, we've had 3 to 4 further issuances, the 100% CDs, and then some addenda that I mentioned before, with some scope impact associated with that, right? So with the increase of the scope, with these awarded packages, we need to sort of keep up. And so this would allow us to continue the procurement process seamlessly as we await the GMP, right, which won't be finalized and ready for approval for 2 months, right? So this authorizes Demio to keep the bioprocess going and keep progress going in the field. And there also are some general conditions, right, associated with it, but it's in proportion to the contracted amounts, right? So with that, James, anything I missed?
I don't really have much to add to that. The only other things were a couple of owner requested changes that are included in that. So we can amend our subcontractors accordingly. And then, like John said, everything is just based on a percentage. So we had previously released 30%. That bumps us to 32%. So there's an additional 2% released on the markups.
Okay, so this authorizes release now, but it'll all get wrapped into the GMP, right? All of these values will be get reviewed and vetted and put into the final GMP numbers.
So these aren't additional numbers, these are just.
No.
The original package, now we're just peeling off pieces.
You're building the complete pie.
Right, exactly. Okay. All right, questions for left field? Okay, hearing, I'm looking for motion to approve Demio pre-GMP additional cost releases.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Holmes, seconded by Mr. DeCourt. Any further questions? Okay, hearing none, all in favor? Aye, opposed, motion carries.
Stand in line.
Public comment, there is none. Future business, next meeting date is Wednesday, October 1st.
Could this one go?
At this point, there's no other business before us, so I'm looking for motion to adjourn.
Moved.
Moved by Ms. Calori and Mr. Holmes, seconded by Mr. Decort. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? We're adjourned at 8:16.
Yeah.